Hey everyone, in this video we're going to be going through the revolves and sweeps tutorial inbuilt in SolidWorks. Let's get straight into it. In this lesson you create a candlestick shown below. The lesson demonstrates creating a revolve feature, creating a sweep feature, and creating an extruded cut feature with a draft angle. We're going to start with a new part, and as SolidWorks likes to do for their tutorials, it tells you to select the boss base tool first and then select the sketch. The way I like to do things is do my sketch first independently and then select my extrude or revolve or sweep afterwards, after the fact. I just find it a nicer workflow and it's just what I'm used to. So either way, through these next steps, you can do whichever way you like. So we're going to do a sketch on the front plane and we're going to draw the dimensions as shown here. Now I'm going to use mouse gestures, which is a right click drag to the left for my line tool. And I'm going to draw the shape first and then I'm going to dimension it. And to access the dimension tool, I'm also going to use gestures, which is right clicking on my mouse and dragging up for smart dimension. And add the dimensions as shown, 90, 220 and 20. Next step. Now we're going to sketch the dimension the arcs and lines needed to complete the profile. First is a small arc at the top. Click Tangent Arc on the sketch toolbar. That button is here. And you'll see under the drop down arrow there's a few options for arcs there. Tangent Arc is the one in the middle. Tangent Arc lets you do an arc that is automatically tangent to the straight segment or otherwise that you're drawing it next to. So I'm going to click that endpoint and I'm going to drag out and around and drop and press escape to cancel. Click the end point of the top horizontal line, move the pointer to the right and then downward. Alright, so that is telling you when you're sketching for that arc, the movement that you create or the movement that you undertake will impact on the size and shape and format of that tangent arc. Alright, we're going to add a dimension to it and dimension the arc radius to 10. Next step. Now create the vertical line and the second arc. So we're going to grab our line tool. We're going to grab it from this point and sketch down. It says approximately 150 millimeters long. Now as we're dragging this, we can see the dimension in the box. If we type in 150, it'll add that dimension for us and fully define that line. It has also added a coincident relation with the center point of that arc. That's what you can see here. And that is why that arc is now fully defined. Do not dimension the line at this time. Okay, well, we can always delete it if we don't need it. Click 3-point arc on the sketch toolbar. So 3-point arc is here. And sketch an arc so that the arc center point and endpoints are coincident with the line. Watch for the coincident pointer or the midpoint pointer. Use the following measurements. The length of this is going to be approximately 40, the angle approximately 180, and the radius approximately 20. Okay, so let's just put in a radius of 20. We don't know the other dimensions yet, so we can leave it. Click Smart Dimension on Sketch Tool. We've done that. Trim Entities. So here we're going to use the Trim Entities tool, and in the Property Manager under Options, select Trim to Closest, which is the bottom option. And we're going to select this section here. You can see it highlights the section it's going to remove. Click, and that removes that section. Then I press Escape to unselect that tool. We're going to dimension the upper vertical line as 40. Okay, next step. Now add relations and a tangent arc. So it says select the vertical lines on each side of the lower arc. Under relations, click equal. Okay, so we're going to select this line and make them equal. Now you can see where we've got in trouble because we have that 150 millimeter dimension there. That's actually the wrong dimension. So I'm going to click that and delete. And then you can see the error disappears. We're going to do another tangent arc, this time from the bottom, and we're going to follow the shape that shows there under number 4. Now with the tangent arc tool, what matters is when you are on that sketch point and you drag your cursor a certain direction, the tangency will come at that direction. So if I drag to the right or left, there's no tangency. But if I drag down, just go back there, let's try that again. If I sketch a line like this, and I go back to that point and I drag down, it's going to be tangent from there. Now here we can just as easily do a 3-point arc, sketch it like this, select those 2 lines and make them tangent. It's the same end result. Move the pointer downward to create an arc that has an angle of 90 degrees and a radius of approximately 60. Click to place the arc sketch another tangent arc, move the pointer until the end point of the arc is coincident with the end point of the bottom horizontal line as shown. Okay, so we're just going to join in between these two positions. Again, we're going to make them tangent. There's a comment here, click View, Hide Show Sketch Relations to hide the sketch relations in the graphics area. So all these little green squares with relations in them, if you want to hide those, you can click on View, Hide Show Sketch Relations. That will hide them. When I'm working, typically I like them visible so I can see all the relations that are there and what is missing. When they're not there, you're kind of guessing sometimes to what you might need to add or what you might need to take away to fix problems in certain situations. So I like having them there. Now we've done all of our dimensions, we just need to add, so we've done all of our sketches. Now we just need to add the dimensions as we can see in that last image for number 7. So I'm going to add those in. And as we add them, you can see everything is now fully defined. Now that you've created the sketch profile, you revolve the profile around the center line to create the revolve feature. Click Exit Sketch. Now because we didn't click Revolve to begin with, we do not have to exit sketch. We just click on Features and then Revolve, and it goes into using that tool. For axis of revolution, select the long vertical line in the sketch. That's this one here. Under direction, it's blind by default, and the distance or the angle, direction 1 angle, is 360 degrees by default. We don't need to do anything. Press the tick and our revolve is done. Save, and save with the rest of our files. C-stick, SolidWorks requests. And now we're going to move on to the sweep path. So a sweep is a base, boss or cut created by moving a section along a path. So a section might be a straight line or a curved line or a shape, and you're moving that along a path. A path is always going to be a line, but it could be a segment of another shape if we want to get a bit more technical. In this part of the tutorial, you create the candlestick handle by using a sweep. First, you sketch the sweep path. The path can be an open curve or a closed non-intersecting curve. Neither the path nor the resulting sweep can be self-intersecting. Self-intersecting is where something does a loop back on itself. Okay. Now we select the front plane and we're going to click Sketch, and with hidden lines removed, we're going to view temporary axes. So to do this, we go View, Hide Show, and Temporary Axes. And that shows us an axis that's running through the middle of our body. Now that is not an actual axis we've created. That one is there because we've done a revolve around the body, and SolidWorks recognizes that there's a circular shape, a revolve shape there, and that is the center line of that shape. We can use that shape as reference in our sketches. So back normal 2, right click in the graphics area and select entities line. Select sketch entities line. Okay, that's an interesting way of doing it. I would never do it that way. Instead, either click the line or right click drag for a line. Move the pointer over the temporary axis. Here, pointer changes to a coincident relation, indicating the pointer is exactly on the temporary axis. Sketch a horizontal line as shown and dimension the line to 60. Okay. Right click in the graphics area and select tangent arc. Again, we won't right click, we'll right click and we can drag. Now in our gestures, we actually don't have an arc tool, but I'll show you a trick to get to an arc tool. If you start with a line, so I'm on the line sketch, I drag out, I drag back to that starting point, I drag out again, I'm going to get a tangent arc. Sketch an arc starting on the end point of the line, dimension the arc to a radius of 150, and if the radial dimension is out of view, click the Leaders tab in the Dimension Property Manager, click Foreshorten, then click OK. What that means is with this dimension selected, we can click Leaders and we can click Foreshorten, which is this button here, and that will shorten what, the dimension, basically the dimension line of our radius. Okay, it doesn't actually change anything, just how it looks on your screen. Select the endpoints of the arc and set the vertical dimension to 65. So we're going to go from here to here and make that 65. Right click and select tangent recent commands. Well, we didn't use it, so it's not there. So again, we're going to use the line tool, come out, come back, sketch, and then we'll give that a dimension of 20. And we're going to add relations. Now add relations to control the sweep path. Click select on the standard toolbar, or in this case, just press escape to remove the smart dimension tool. Select the endpoints of the tangent arc, and we're going to make them horizontal. Now the quickest way to add these, once you release the control key, because they're selected, see this little menu that pops up, You can click horizontal, that will add the horizontal relation. Then you just click off and you can continue. Click display delete relations on the sketch toolbar. All right, so this is a tool here again that I don't use very often because I generally just see what I need to see in the viewport. Display delete relations shows you all the relations that are in this sketch or are dangling or are overdefined. So when you get errors, they will come up here. The sketch relation property manager lists all the relations in the current sketch, including both relations that are added automatically as you sketch and relations that you add manually. For example, the coincident relation between the sweep path and the revolve base was added automatically. You control the type of relation you want to see with the filter option. This is the filter option. In the property manager under relations, select all in this sketch in filter. Select each relation in relations. As you select each relation, its entities are highlighted. You can see they become pink. All right, you can learn more if you click on that link. We don't need to do anything, so press the tick and keep going. Next, we're going to dimension the path with respect to the revolve base. Dimension the distance between the horizontal line of the sweep path and the bottom edge of the revolve feature to 10. So we're going to bring this line right down to the bottom by clicking on those two, typing in 10. And now, with that one dimension, that entire arc is fully defined. We're going to press exit sketch. And after you now having sketched the path, we need to sketch the sweep section. Select right plane and click a new sketch. We're going to click an ellipse. Now ellipse is this tool here. Sketch an ellipse anywhere in the graphics area. Now an ellipse starts with a center point, then a horizontal or vertical point, and then a second drop. All right, so 3 clicks to create the ellipse. I'm going to add relations, so I'm going to make these 2 points horizontal and these 2 points vertical. Actually, I don't need to do that. Once I've got 2 that are horizontal, that's enough. And then I'm going to add dimensions. So I'm going to dimension between those points. Okay, so the relation there makes sure the ellipse is not slanted. Okay, so it's lined up properly. Now we want to get the center point of this ellipse onto the center point of that path that we created. So we're going to click and drag the center point, and we can see when we drop it there, we get a preview of a coincident relation. When we let go the cursor, that makes it fully defined. Now we can press OK on that. And now we can click View, Hide, Show temporary axes to hide them. Another place you can do that is on this eye icon in the middle of the screen, and temporary axis is here. You turn that off, and that's clear. Now to create the sweep, now you combine the sweep path and sweep section sketches to create the sweep. Click Swept Boss Base on the Features toolbar. That can be found here. In the Property Manager, select Sketch 3, the ellipse, in the graphics area for a profile. That is the first section here. So we select the sketch, and then you can see once we've selected the sketch, the Property Manager automatically goes to the next selection, which is the path. The path we're going to select is this sketch. A preview of the sweep appears in the graphics area. Note how the colors in the profile and path match those in the graphics area. All right, so by that, they mean that the sketch you've selected, we can see it's got a blue highlight, and that's the same as the little blue marker here. And the path has a pink icon on the path. We can see the pink here in the Property Manager as well. Under Options, select Follow Path in Profile Orientation. That is set by default. And click OK to create the sweep. And then we're viewing as shaded with edges. The handlebar, the handle is complete. The handle is complete. Save the part, and now to complete it, the final step is to create a cut to hold the candle. I'm going to select the top face of the Revolve Boss feature and click Extruded Cut. I'm going to click Sketch. We're going to sketch a circle and give that a dimension of 30. And then we're going to click Features Extruded Cut. So all these steps here, selecting Normal To, selecting Exit Sketch, you don't need to do them. Like the defaults will typically bring you into SolidWorks. Some of those things though are the steps you would do if the defaults are off. They've been disabled, you need to change your views, those kind of things. But this is where you can see like a lot of the stuff in these tutorials is just over the top. You don't need to do it. In the Property Manager under Direction 1, select Blind and set depth to 25. Press Enter. Now, actually, they want to add draft. So click Draft On Off, which is this button here, and select Draft Angle to 15. And what you can see with that hole that it's cutting is it's setting it at a 15-degree angle inwards. There's a button here to draft outwards, obviously the opposite. Press OK. All right, a cut is added to the top of the candlestick. Viewing the cut, you can make the part transparent to help see the angled cut. At the top of the Feature Manager design tree, to the right of the tabs, click Show Display Pane, which is this little icon here. Move the pointer over candlestick at the top of the Feature Manager design tree, which is here, and then across into the transparency column. And if you click here, it's going to make the entire part transparent, and then you can see the angled cut through that transparency. Click again to remove the transparency, hide the display pane, and congratulations, you've completed this tutorial. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful and found something new to enhance your SolidWorks skills. Don't forget to subscribe to Fully Defined for more tutorials, tips, and insights from a certified SolidWorks expert. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. If you have any questions or topics you'd like me to cover, leave a comment below. I read all comments and love hearing your feedback. Remember, with the right skills and tools, you can turn your design dreams into reality. Keep modeling, keep learning, and always fully defined.